Hello, it is the 14th day of February in the year 2022, and of course you're welcome to join us for another exciting and interesting segment of the newspaper review. My name is Cyril Aloysius, and it is my pleasure to bring you the headlines for today. But before I do that, we'll go on a very short break, and when we'll come back, we'll bring you the headlines in full. Stay with us. All right, you're welcome back from that short break, and taking you straight to the headlines. We shall be looking first at the Vanguard newspaper for today. And amongst the headlines in the Vanguard, we have bad fuel, IPMAN, DAPPMA's price war worsens scarcity. IPMAN, DAPPMA's price war worsens scarcity. Pump price rises to 180 naira per litre. Pump price rises to 180 naira per litre. Petrol supply to stations will soon normalize, according to federal government. Petrol supply to stations will soon normalize, according to federal government. As technical, other committees begin work. That's on page 4 of the Vanguard newspaper. Another interesting one here says, strike. Anxiety as Asuu takes decision today. Strike. Anxiety as Asuu takes decision today. That's on page 8 of the Vanguard newspaper. Another one here says, 2023, why presidency won't go to southeast or southwest. 2023, why presidency won't go to southeast, southwest. It's according to Ame Ebute. Why presidency won't go to southeast, southwest, according to Ame Ebute. That's on page 37 of the Vanguard. Police arrest teacher in Delta for allegedly flogging 19-month-old pupil to death. Police arrest teacher in Delta for allegedly flogging 19-month-old pupil to death. That's on page 6 of the Vanguard newspaper. Another interesting one here says, State of the Nation. Funds for infrastructure disappeared during PDP's rule. State of the Nation. Funds for infrastructure disappeared during PDP's rule, according to Senate President. That's on page 10 of the Vanguard newspaper. And lastly, on the Vanguard, we have 2023 presidency, OBJ, ex-generals, PFN back power shift to south. OBJ, ex-generals, PFN backs power shift to south. That's on page 8 of the Vanguard newspaper. And moving over now to the News Direct, amongst the headlines we have Fuel Marketers Petition. NIMASA Act backs freight charges payment in dollars. NIMASA Act backs freight charges payment in dollars, according to DG. Remits 78 billion naira in 2 years. Remits 78 billion naira in 2 years to Federation's account. Remits 78 billion naira in 2 years to Federation's account. Reduces piracy by 58.2%. Reduces piracy by 58.2%. Another interesting one here says, Kogi disburses 6.3 billion naira for infrastructure in Costec. Kogi disburses 6.3 billion naira for infrastructure in Costec. Another interesting one here says, Autumn's denial of entrance into NAF base, act of desperate politicians. It's according to PDP. Autumn's denial of entrance into NAF base, an act of desperate politicians, according to PDP. And lastly, in the News Direct, we have scarcity. Normalcy returning to filling stations across Lagos. And that's the much you can take on the news director. Moving straight now to the Daily Trust. Amongst the headlines in the Daily Trust, we have 2023. 2023 moves to draft Emefiele thicken. 2023 moves to draft Emefiele thicken. Buhari's men pushing CBN governor. Buhari's men pushing CBN governor. He won't go anywhere. He won't go anywhere. Group begins nationwide mobilization. Group begins nationwide mobilization. Don't distract him. Don't distract him. All this according to Apex Bank. According to Apex Bank. Another one here says, property market thrives in Maiduguri as residents decry rent hike. Property market thrives in Maiduguri as residents decry rent hike. Another interesting one here says, APC convention. APC convention. Sale of forms begin amidst zoning controversy. Sale of forms begins amidst zoning controversy. Another one here says, private sector alliance raises 100 billion naira to fight insecurity. Private sector alliance raises 100 billion naira to fight insecurity. And lastly, in the Daily Trust, we have Asuu to decide on strike today. Asuu to decide on strike today. All right, that will be the much we can take in the Daily Trust. Before we move over to the next papers, we will go on a short break, and when we return, we'll bring you more headlines. Stay with us. All right, you're welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us and taking you now to the Daily Sun. We have amongst the headlines, 2023 presidency, Northern youths back Governor Umahi. 2023 presidency, Northern youths back Governor Umahi. Tension as Asuu prepares for full-scale strike. Tension as Asuu prepares for full-scale strike. May declare warning strike first. NEC takes final decision today. NEC takes final decision today. Fresh crisis looms in APC over convention. Fresh crisis looms in APC over convention. Governors move to impose chairman causes disquiet. Governors move to impose chairman causes disquiet. Parties forum petitions Buhari. Parties forum petitions Buhari. That's on page 6 of the Daily Sun. Another interesting one here says, fuel scarcity worsens. I beg your pardon. Fuel scarcity worsens. Stations run out of stock in Abuja, Lagos. Fuel scarcity worsens. Stations run out of stock in Abuja and Lagos. Economic activities strained. Economic activities strained. That's on page 25 of the Daily Sun. Another interesting one here says, private sector bigwigs raise 100 billion naira to aid terrorism fight. Private sector bigwigs raise 100 billion naira to aid terrorism fight. That's on page 2 of the Daily Sun. And lastly, the Daily Sun, we have Constitution supports zoning. Constitution supports zoning. Afegbua replies Atiku. Constitution supports zoning. Afegbua replies Atiku. Insist on Southern presidency. Insist on Southern presidency. That's the much we can take in the Daily Sun. And moving straight now to the Daily Independent, we have CBN may respond to pressure. CBN may respond to pressure. Tweak MPR twice this year. Tweak MPR twice this year. Another interesting one here says 2023 presidency. Why Tinubu's camp is accusing Osibanjo of betrayal. Why Tinubu's camp is accusing Osibanjo of betrayal. Says those expecting vice president to chicken out are in for a shocker. Says those expecting Vice President to chicken out are in for a shocker. Another one here says FCT Council polls. FCT Council polls. PDP victory, a good omen. FCT Council polls. PDP victory, a good omen. It's according to Asuu. PDP defeats APC to clinch AMAC. Buhari Kuje. PDP defeats APC to claim AMAC. Buhari Kuje. As APC wins Gwagwalada and Kwali Abaji. Okay. Another one here says Senate summons NDDC officials over 100 billion naira scandal. Senate summons NDDC officials over 100 billion naira scandals. Says 626 contractors bolted away with 61.4 billion naira mobilization fees. Says 626 contractors bolted away with 61.4 billion naira mobilization fees. That's on page 7 of the Daily Independent. And lastly, in the Daily Independent, we have 1-year-old pupil flogged to death by teacher in Delta State. 1-year-old pupil flogged to death by teacher in Delta. That's on page 7. Page 29, I beg your pardon. Page 29 of the Daily Independent. That's the much you can take. And moving straight now to the Punch. We have amongst the headlines in the Punch, fuel sells for 400 naira per litre in Abuja. Fuel sells for 400 naira per litre in Abuja. Others, scarcity persists in Lagos. Fuel sells for 400 naira per litre in Abuja. Others, scarcity persists in Lagos. Marketers still struggling to return adulterated petrol to NNPC. Marketers still struggling to return adulterated petrol to NNPC. Cooperation pleads for patience. Cooperation pleads for patience. Says fuel queues will end soon. Says fuel queues will end soon. Another interesting one here says, Ekiti teenagers land in prison over alleged attempt to kill sex worker. Ekiti teenagers land in prison over alleged attempt to kill sex worker. Another one here says, death toll hits 5 in Yaba building collapse. Death toll hits 5 in Yaba building collapse. And another one here says, banks forex ban. Banks forex ban. Dollar scarcity, inflation, firms closure imminent. Firms closure imminent. Expert warns. And lastly, in the Punch, we have TCN gets transformers. TCN gets transformers to increase power transmission by 1,487 megawatts. TCN gets transformers to increase power transmission by 1,487 megawatts. All right, that's the much we can take for today. And thank you so much for sticking with us. Right about now, we'll go on a short break. And when I return, I'll be joined by my guest to talk on some headlines in the papers for today. Stick with us. All right, Joe, welcome back to join us. Right about now, I'm being joined by Mr. Sunny, and Mr. Sunny is going to be talking to us on some of the headlines that he finds interesting. Mr. Sunny, you're welcome to join us at the show.
Good morning.
Yes, morning. Mr. Sunny, while I was reading the papers today, there were some headlines that actually really caught my interest, and one of them is this Asuu impending strike. What do you have to say concerning that?
Okay, I think Asuu has been agitating for this strike for a while.
Yes.
You know, and today they are going to hold their meeting and come up with their final decision. And one of the reasons they gave was because the federal government has been dribbling them. That's the word they used.
Yes.
No, not wanting to meet with them and negotiate with them. even though government on their part said some of their demands were just outrageous. So, but I think the best thing to do was to still meet with them and
Hear them out.
yes, and it's not like they don't know their demands. They know their demands because these demands have been there for years.
They've been lingering.
Yes, so they would have just find a way to come around it with them. But I don't see any way they are going to like say they're not going to go for this strike. And if peradventure they embark on this strike, it's going to be a very long one.
Okay, Mr. Sunny, if after the meeting today by Asuu and they decide to go on an indefinite strike, don't you think that would really, really affect a whole lot in the country at the moment, especially students who actually have plans to graduate soon, those having plans to go forward and all that? Don't you think it will really affect a whole lot in the country at the moment?
It will. It's going to affect a whole lot of things. That means a lot of students are going to return home.
Yes.
Doing nothing, and with the rate of unemployment, you can see we have an unemployment issue. We have to deal with security.
Yes.
Crime rate is high, you know. But the parties involved, most times, I just see them like they don't care.
They don't care.
Yeah, because a lot of them, their children are not here in Nigeria. A lot, even the professors, a lot of them, their children is either in Canada or in the UK. So, whatever.
It doesn't really affect them.
Yes, they don't care.
All right. Moving over now to another headline I find interesting. I think it's about the 1-year-old pupil who was flogged to death in Delta State by a teacher. I don't know what you make of that headline, because for me, I think it is not supposed to be so. Why would you flog a child to death?
For me, that story, I don't want to just jump into conclusion, because already is a caption, is a newspaper capture. So I think first of all we should wait and see what the report the police comes up with.
Okay.
You understand? Because there's always two sides to a story. You know. Yes. Even though they have like a proof to show that the teacher actually flogged the child. And
marks on the body.
Yes, she had he or she had bruises. So I think we should sit back and wait for the police to come up with their report. Although from the publication I read shows that the school was not properly registered, which was even another crime on its own. But also looking at it, you know, public schools mostly they have a way to correct the child, which some of us went through.
Yes.
But because today,
and we didn't die.
Yes, but today is the 21st century, and a lot of changes. You see parents go to school to fight their teachers or say, why will you talk to my child? Because I know some schools now, they don't even, you can't even yell at the child when you're in the class teaching. They have this card system where if the child misbehaves, you show him yellow card.
Yellow card.
Warning, red card, leave the class, you know. And so some of these children don't know what it is to be beaten,
spanked,
or something. So I don't want to just conclude. I just want, because we are going to see a build-up, follow-up on this story.
Okay. The truth is, at the moment, the child is dead at the moment. So do you really think that the parents of this child, whoever it is that's actually related to this child, who really want to, you know, pause and hear the other side of the story? Because if the child wasn't dead, it would have been a different thing. But right now, he's dead already.
He's dead, so there's nothing he can do. You just have to wait for the police.
It's a sad one. It's a really sad one. All right. Lastly, about the fuel scarcity in the nation at the moment, especially in Lagos and Abuja. I don't know if there's anything you want to say on that particular line.
Okay, the fuel scarcity. Lucky enough, this part of the south, we are not experiencing scarcity in any way, because we have a lot of, you know, illegal modular refineries. Yes. So we still have our peace, you know, the vehicles are still moving. But up there in the north, like, let me say Abuja Central, they always have these issues, you know, because they don't have the opportunities we have here in the south. So Yeah, we are not feeling it at all.
All right. That will be all. Thank you so much, Mr. Sunny, for joining us on the show today.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And you watching us, thank you so, so much for sticking there with us. Without you, we would not be here. My name is Cyril Aloysius once again. And right about now, we'll call it a wrap on today's segment of the newspaper review. Please do also follow us on all our social media handles. On YouTube is at Thav TV, on Instagram is at Thav TV_NG, on Facebook is at Thav TV, and on Twitter is at Thav TV. Until we come your way again next time, for now, it's bye-bye from me.